Hey everyone, TJ here with a new video. This time we're talking about how a fully balanced fighting game is not a great idea. So, for simplicity's sake, I booted up in KX and decided to record from here, but the short version of what I'm going to talk about is the idea of some people think fully balanced fighting game is a reality. It really isn't when you think about it, because no matter what game you're playing, no matter what mechanics the game runs on, no matter what, you're always gonna have a top tier and a bottom tier. It's just how it always gonna happen. Because here's the problem: if you make every character viable and balanced and equal, then there's no diversity in the gameplay. There's no diversity in decision making and neutral and footsies and combos. Like there's so much that becomes limited if you have every character is the same exact way to make it balanced and fair for everybody, right? So now, of course, a lot of my content features MK, but we have a bit of King of Fighters and Injustice as well. But generally, right, so I play a lot of grappler characters. Jason and MKX, I'm learning Cassie and MKX, Kano, 11, we got Terminator, pretty much it, and well, Terminator, Nightwolf, and Kano. And Injustice 2, we got Bane, Swamp Thing, Scarecrow, that's a pretty cool command grab. But my point being is generally grapplers are regarded as mid to low tier, generally, depending on the game, because they struggle hard in neutral. But that's the idea, is you struggle hard in neutral, but when I get in, ooh, it's big boy time. It's big boy party. Grabs do 30% time. That's the idea. Whereas someone like... There's Jason. Whereas somebody like... Sub-Zero, right? Sub-Zero in this game is Cryomancer, has a command grab. That's a special cancelable command grab, so you can do the command grab input and then special cancel out of the grab into some combo stuff. But he has a slide and a projectile that absorbs other projectiles. My point being, when it comes to balance and all this stuff, I'd rather, like, if we can get the game as balanced as possible, sure. Right, MK11 is a good example of that. Like, the gap between a bottom tier and a top tier is there. It is noticeable, but it's more of a, you can still win, you can still fight the top tiers, even if it's hard as hell, you can do it. But there's other games where, like, it's a 8-2 or 9-1, or like a 10-0, like characters are so strong or so weak they literally are unable to play. Like, that character may as well be removed or deleted from the game entirely because they're unviable at a moderate or to high level. So it really boils down to, if we can get the game as balanced as possible, but also keep the diversity there, right? Because Jason Jason plays this game fairly different, at least from my understanding, which is limited, because he has two different command grabs. One's faster, one's slower. You got tick throws. To me, him and Kano are the two, like, grapplers in this game. Like, someone like Cassie has an air grab and she has a command grab, but from all the stuff I've seen, she's not predicated on, let me just keep command grabbing you over and over. Jason and Kano both do that. Ferrador has one, Goro has one, but, like, again, I guess arguably Aaron and Sub as well in this game. But the point being is, the point I'm trying to make at the end of the day, the point I'm making is that at the end of the day, when it comes down to balance and fun and all this stuff, MK11 may have great balance, but it comes to a point where I'm kind of done. Because I kind of want crazy stuff, right? So, like, something like as simple as this. Back 1-2-2, back 1-2-2, back 1-2 into down forward 1 for Jason is like 28% immediately, and they're like in the corner. Like just something as simple as that. Like, people have meatless launches in this game. People have, hit confirms. People have hit confirms everywhere. But the point being, like, the game in MKX is so different from 11 because the way they handled balance, and the same idea for King of Fighters. King of Fighters balance. The problem with King of Fighters right now is that it looks like there's like 36 characters, but realistically you only see like 10 or like 8 in, like, tournaments, which makes sense. But here's the problem: then it turns into, okay, we don't have a lot of diversity here. Like, we're not seeing I, I'm pretty sure Terry's top tier, but like we're not seeing Terry that much, right? Terry Bogard. But the point remains, it turns into a matter of the game gets kind of stale because you're watching like a top eight. You're like, all right, cool, let's see what's happening top eight, and it's the same character over and over. Tanya had this problem in MKX where it's like, I think it was Evo. There's like at one point people started counting how many teleports were not punished because Tanya would teleport for free pretty much. Like no one could really punish her. It got to like 500 teleports in a top eight before somebody punished Tanya, and it was like, are you serious? Okay, I guess this is what balance, right? And eventually they nerfed her. Eventually they brought it down and all that, but I don't know. It's an interesting discussion, and I realize I repeated myself several times. But the point, I don't know. It's just it's a matter of perception and understanding, right? It's like for me, MK11 is great as far as like balance and like you can play almost anybody. But there are a few instances of like, oh wow, you're like overpowered, right? MKX, different idea. MKX has a different skill gap than 11, so it's more noticeable when a character is either good or player's good. All right, because MKX, you need your execution. Same with King of Fighters, you need execution to actually get damage or like play the character good or effectively. MK11 kind of toned that down, but which inherently made it more balanced and easier for other people to get into, but also made it where the game itself is kind of after a few rounds. But it also depends. Like it might look like boring or bland depending on who's fighting as well. Like someone like Nightwolf, people say is really boring, but for me, well, that was a lot of fun for me. Like his combos were pretty stylish and fun. His command grabs interesting. I just wish it didn't switch sides. Although I guess you can amp it so you can go back to the corner. But anyway. But like so the other thing I wanted to mention was the idea of balancing a game around mechanics. So as far as like mechanics goes, from what I know in MKX, again, I've been trying to research like higher tier stuff or meta, whatever. Well, there goes my alarm to go to work. Well, okay, we'll get ready for work at least. Point being, MKX like totally different skill gap, right? You have the run and cancel mechanic, you have the meatless launchers, you have to worry about armor reversals and all this stuff, which is the same idea for MK11, but flawless blocking takes a bit more effort because you have to know the timing. There's wave dashing or wave dashing in MK11. Like there's like so many different minute ideas where people say like this game's trash because this, that, whatever reason. It's like not necessarily. Like every game, you have to look at every game objectively. At least try to, right? If you have bias going into some experience, then it turns into, well, that bias clouds your judgment. So like I had no biases or prejudices. I cannot say that word coming into King of Fighters 15, right? But I came into it with a fresh set of eyes. I never played King of Fighters before. Came into it, the game's actually really damn fun. Sound design on par with MKX, some of the best sound design in a fighting game, and the mechanics all work. There's no bad mechanics. There's no broken stuff. As far I mean, there are touches of death and stuff, and not full infinites. But that's the idea. Is like every game is different. Every game has its own balancing things, right? You need to know how to not drop stuff to play that game. Anyway, point being, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys found this discussion insightful, and we'll talk to you guys next time. We're probably going to do some MKX or 11 or King of Fighters or something, depending on if my boys come home today or not.